Looks like just one more hot day. Heat advisory this afternoon, and then a cold front comes through this evening with showers, storms, and cooler temperatures.
We're on Whatley watch. In just a few hours, Michael Whatley is expected to announce plans to run for North Carolina's soon-to-be-open U.S. Senate seat. What some say makes him a front-runner for the GOP.
Ready for liftoff? In less than 10 minutes, a UNC alum will journey to space on her first mission. This is a live look, and you can watch it live right here as it all happens.
We've been watching that countdown all morning long, keeping our fingers crossed. Today is the WRAL Weather Alert Day, and you're looking live at Fenton right now in Cary, courtesy of the WRAL Live Cam Network. We do have some overcast, cloudy skies just about everywhere we look out there. A good Thursday afternoon to you. I'm Jeff Hogan.
And I'm Renee Chu. Thanks for joining us. The sun's not blazing, but it is certainly humid out there. Another heat advisory has been issued today. But meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner is in the WRAL Severe Weather Center with a look at why this should be the last heat advisory for a while.
A cold front is on the way, and it looks like it will move across our area this evening and stall to our south and bring more showers and thunderstorms for tomorrow. So that should help to cool us off enough that keeps us out of a heat advisory. But it'll feel like 102 to 108 as we head through the afternoon. Right now, it does feel like 102 in Clinton, 99 in Fayetteville, 97 in Rocky Mount and Goldsboro, already 102 in South Hill and 101 in Southern Pines. Now, you look at this. It's 82 right now in Durham and Raleigh. You may say, whoa, what is going on here? Well, we actually have a few showers that are already falling, but it doesn't mean that we won't climb to maybe 100, 102, maybe 103 in the Triangle. We're just dealing with this isolated shower activity that popped up right here from Orange County to Durham County to Wake County. Nothing severe here, but you might have seen those raindrops in the Cary camera. We are seeing just this light rain starting to push in. It's a small chance now, but it goes up to 60% later on this afternoon and evening as the front gets closer to us. And at that point, we are likely to have some downpours. Temperatures are still going to be hot this afternoon, mostly in the mid-90s. But we're talking about the potential for some heavier rain later today and even tomorrow. I'll show you when we could have a few isolated severe storms coming up.
Elizabeth, thanks. Republican Michael Whatley is expected to announce plans to run for North Carolina's open U.S. Senate race later today. WRAL state government reporter Paul Spey joins us now to explain how someone who has never run for elected office would be considered the front runner to win the Republican primary. Paul.
That's right. Whatley has never run for office before, but he does have experience running campaigns in North Carolina. You may have seen Whatley on TV even. He's led the Republican National Committee for more than a year now, and before that, he led the North Carolina Republican Party for 5 years. That's certainly useful experience, but he'll be considered the front runner in the Republican primary because he's already got an endorsement from President Donald Trump. Other Republicans are also running for the seat. Don Brown and Andy Nilsen, they've run for office before, and they told me they do plan to stay in the race. However, Trump is still considered the party's kingmaker, and the president has credited Whatley for helping him win North Carolina 3 times in a row. Whatley has also helped Republicans gain control of the state Supreme Court and win seats in the state legislature. That's why Whatley is expected to win the GOP primary and ultimately face Democrat Roy Cooper in next year's election. That said, winning the general will be much harder. Cooper has never lost a race, and he has some name recognition from serving the state as both governor and attorney general for more than 2 decades. Whatley will have to rely on his experience as a good fundraiser and organizer to get his name out there.
This will certainly shape up to be one of the most expensive races in U.S. Senate history. Paul, thank you. WRAL Capitol Bureau Chief Laura Leslie will be in Gastonia this afternoon, and that's where Whatley is expected to make the announcement. Tune in to our shows from 4 to 7:30 this evening for the latest.
Tariffs are about to soar. The midnight deadline is quickly approaching to strike a trade framework with the U.S. or face significantly higher tariffs. President Donald Trump is expected to announce a new baseline universal tariff that sets a minimum tax for most goods that enter the United States. NBC's Peter Alexander sums it up.
Starting tomorrow, many of the tariffs that could affect prices for Americans will kick in. The White House has been pushing to make deals ahead of its self-imposed August 1st deadline. Overnight, President Trump touting his recent trade deals.
U.S. customer is the greatest buyer in the world, and Donald Trump understands how to harness that customer.
After the president announced a new agreement with South Korea. slapping a 15% import tax on South Korean goods. It's lower than the 25% he had initially threatened, but significantly higher than any time in nearly 15 years when a free trade agreement was in effect. The new deal could impact vehicles and electronics, South Korea's top exports to the U.S., as well as popular skincare and cosmetics. The president saying South Korea has also committed billions of dollars in new U.S. investments. As for new tariffs on other countries, the administration is trying to calm investors.
If there's not a deal by August 1, I would encourage market participants, corporate America, even the countries, not to panic, because you can still do a deal.
It comes as the president is highlighting new domestic economic numbers.
We smashed all expectations. This is truly the dawn of the golden age of America.
The Commerce Department figures that were better than expected show 3% growth this spring, after an economy that shrunk in the first part of the year. The report also shows signs that consumer spending is down. And there's no immediate relief in sight. The Federal Reserve just announcing it will not lower its key interest rate. Fed Chair Jerome Powell has defied the president's public pressure campaign.
I'd love him to lower interest rates.
Now take a live look at stocks and see what kind of the investor reaction is to what is going on tariff-wise. It spent much of the morning in positive territory, but as you see right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average, for one, is down marginally, 14 points right now. S&P 500 is up marginally, about 26 points right now. NASDAQ is up big, 200 points this noon.
In Minneapolis, dozens of people were taken to local hospitals after a Delta flight from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam was diverted last night to Minneapolis-St. Paul International Airport. Adrian Broadus reports officials say the problem was significant turbulence.
Hey there, some scary moments for passengers on Delta Flight 56 from Salt Lake City to Amsterdam. Severe turbulence caused the plane to be diverted to Minneapolis Wednesday night. It landed safely around 7:50 local time. The Airbus A330 was met by a massive emergency response after the rough flight left dozens of people needing medical attention. Passengers posting online about their experiences. Delta Airlines releasing a statement saying in part, quote, 25 of those on board were transported to local hospitals for evaluation and care. Meanwhile, no word on the conditions of the people who were hurt. And it's also clear if all of the people who were injured were passengers or if members of the crew were among those who were hurt. Nevertheless, the plane was able to land safely. Back to you.
It's the second of 3 days of investigative hearings into January's mid-air collision in D.C. that killed 67 people. Today, witnesses are expected to testify about air traffic control training and collision avoidance technology. The National Transportation Safety Board will meet again tomorrow. A determination of what caused the crash will come in January.
Raleigh police say a group of people burst into a house while the homeowner was inside. Ali Kadlubar is in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker with an update on the search for the suspect.
Yes, Raleigh police are now sifting through that evidence. Listen to this broadcastify radio traffic of what this group of people said before busting into this person's home.
Raleigh unit has an home invasion. Callers saying 4 to 5 males with masks said they were police and busted in the door.
This video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows the forensic team dusting for fingerprints. Raleigh police says a group of 4 or 5 people kicked down the resident's door. The resident was inside. No one got hurt and nothing was taken. We did ask police if this was related to a viral TikTok trend where kids kick in a door and then leave. They say the evidence so far does not show any relation. Reporting in Raleigh, Ali Kadlubar, WRAL News.
State and federal investigators are trying to learn what happened to cause a home explosion in Harnett County. We first brought you the story as breaking news yesterday morning. Just after 6 a.m., calls came in about a massive explosion at a townhouse in Anger. A man was seriously burned and taken to the UNC Burn Center. His condition has not been released. Police say they did not detect any gas leaks at the site. The excitement is building. In less than a minute, NASA's Crew 11 behind us is set to launch.
It's pretty cool stuff. 4 of them on there will travel to the International Space Station aboard SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft launched atop the SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket. This mission marks the first spaceflight for UNC grad Zena Cardman. Cardman will serve as commander.
Yeah, she was originally scheduled to fly in 2024 as part of Crew 9, but was reassigned to allow room on the Crew 9 SpaceX Dragon for the return of the astronauts Butch Wilmore and Sunita Williams. Let's go to Destiny Patterson in the WRAL Live Center for the countdown. Destiny.
We have been closely watching this feed, excitedly watching this feed as we get ready for this rocket to take off, especially knowing that we have one of our own from the Triangle on board of that rocket. Once they get up to space, then they'll be doing things like research, tech demonstrations, and even simulate a moon landing. Of course, we again have been waiting for this moment. They have been training for months. They even had to go into and they had to also do some quarantining as well. We're just hearing, just in the last couple seconds, in fact, that now they are standing by as we see some weather coming into this area. Take a listen to this sound here.
Dragon copies all 5.100. Too bad, but we'll be ready next time.
So you just heard it there, all that excitement, and here we are still waiting to see this rocket launch. Again, we can see the cloud cover over this area, and now we're going to have to check back in with them to see the next time that they will be able to actually lift off. Back to you guys.
And I'll tell you, we were right there all morning waiting, and they were right there on schedule. You see that giant cloud, though?
Right,
Oh.
just right at the moment when they're about to take off, just seconds away. And then ready for next time.
And it's always weather dependent.
It is. It is.
Moment.
All right.
Just hit there.
Hopefully there's another opportunity soon.
How to make money and take advantage of the Fed's decision to hold interest rates steady, where you should put your cash and where you should not, when we come back.
Coming up next, see storms moving in with WRAL's exclusive Dual Doppler 5000, sponsored by the WRAL Weather app. Download now for live radar.
Destiny Patterson here in the WRAL Live Center. Just before the break, we were highly anticipating the launch of the SpaceX rocket into outer space, and now we've learned that that has been pushed to tomorrow at 11:45. Of course, we're continuing to monitor those live images, those live feeds out of Florida, and we'll continue to do so. Hopefully, we'll actually see a liftoff tomorrow.
Yeah, disappointing, but certainly understanding of you want optimal weather conditions as they launch to space. So tomorrow it is. A 29-year-old man is charged with attempted murder after police say he set a Virginia City Council member on fire. Witnesses say Shotzi Hayes stormed into the building where Councilman Lee Vogler worked, threw a flammable liquid on him, and walked out of the office. Witnesses say Hayes set Vogler on fire when he followed him out of the building. Vogler was airlifted to a burn hospital. His condition is unknown.
This type of senseless act of violence has to stop. You do not have the right as a human being to get upset with someone enough to lash out and attempt to harm them in any way, much less this way.
Absolutely horrific. Hayes is being held without bond. Investigators say the attack stemmed from a personal matter not related to politics or Vogler's position on the city council.
Arkansas State Police say a man has been arrested in connection with the deaths of a couple hiking at a state park. Police arrested the 28-year-old in Springdale, Arkansas. He faces 2 counts of capital murder. The bodies of Clinton and Kristen Brink were found Saturday on a walking trail in Devil's Den State Park. Police have not said how they were killed. The couple had been hiking with their 2 young daughters who were not harmed. A dozen teens found living in a church basement in suburban Atlanta have been relocated to a state-approved facility. The Clayton County Fire Chief there says they received a medical call late this week, and that's when they found the children, roughly 15 to 18 years old. The fire marshal says the teens had beds, clothing, and food, but the church lacked key safety features like sprinklers and a fire alarm with audio and visual notifications.
Some Tennessee lawmakers say they were unaware of plans to build a tunnel loop under Nashville. Tennessee Governor Bill Lee announced earlier in the week that Elon Musk's Boring Company will build that tunnel. And he said the tunnels will follow state-owned roads and will be completely privately funded. Because of that, city leaders don't have a say. In negotiations between the Boring Company and Governor Lee, the state legislature's input also appears to be limited. That's getting mixed reaction from elected state leaders.
What is it going to do to the integrity of our roads to be drilling underneath them? Will there be sinkholes?
I was thrilled about it and was able to meet with the Boring Company actually last week to see the technology.
I'm not saying that they didn't have the authority to it, but I'm going to tell you, if we're giving up any kind of state asset, I think it's going to be important that the legislature fully vet what's going to go on.
Tennessee State Building Commission approved the leasing of a state-owned parking lot for the Boring Company's stage equipment for this project.
The public will soon get a behind-the-scenes look at former Vice President Kamala Harris's historic presidential run. Publisher Simon & Schuster plans to release a new memoir in September titled 107 Days. That's the length of her abbreviated campaign. Harris announced the release in a video posted on social media, saying she believes there is value in sharing what she saw, learned, and what it will take to move forward. The news comes less than 24 hours after announcing she will not run for governor of California in 2026.
Finally, a break from the heat that is coming. It is still very hot and humid today. We have one more WRAL weather alert day for you. Meteorologist Elizabeth Gardner tracking the impacts and then the relief to come.
Yes, changes beginning today. We do have a small chance for flooding for today and then a medium risk for part of the viewing area for tomorrow. Today should be the last day that we see a heat advisory for the next 5 to 7 days, which is definitely a welcome news, I think, to a lot of people. The heat index, of course, for today still up to as high as 108 in some places. Already beginning to see some thunderstorms firing up over the mountains, and those will slide into our area as we head through the afternoon. What we're seeing right now is just a lingering boundary. We had some scattered showers just to the south and west of the triangle earlier this morning, affecting the Sandhills and Fayetteville, and kind of seeing this wave continuing to move across the area. Up just south of Roxborough, we're seeing a little cell developing and a little bit of lightning, but this is just some light to steady rainfall from Raleigh up toward Wake Forest, back toward Durham and Hillsborough. Let's take a look at Futurecast and see what Futurecast does with this. Not showing a whole lot of what's happening right now, but definitely that line that's developing in the mountains starts to move in. Some folks may be affected by that during the evening commute. Notice that especially between Durham and Raleigh, some showers show up, and then it gets heavier later on this evening, especially from Raleigh southward, and some areas are going to see some heavy downpours. We could see some isolated flooding. Here comes the front. We can track it through this afternoon and into tomorrow. That dark green area is where there's a lot of moisture in the atmosphere. So again, that's why we're expecting some heavy downpours. Eventually, we're going to see some drier air pushing in behind the front, but we probably won't feel that tomorrow. It will probably be over the weekend before we see a little drop in our humidity. Taking a look at Fitton and Cary, we continue to see some light showers. As a matter of fact, you can see someone live there walking across the lawn there with an umbrella. So some showers falling there. Right now it is 82, the dew point 76. So the temperature is not so bad, but that dew point at 76, that is high. It feels very muggy. Now, we'll likely see this band of showers move on out, and we'll see those temperatures climbing. It's still likely to feel like 100 to 105, maybe even as hot as 108 in some places. Triangle likely to be 100 to maybe up to 104. Our normal high is 90. 95 is our potential high temperature today. That may vary a little bit depending on where the showers pop up. Again, we've had this early shower here in the Triangle, keeping those temperatures down, which is nice. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, all looking cooler with temperatures in the 80s. And again, by Saturday and Sunday, we should see a nice little drop in humidity. You can see how Saturday 66, 62, Sunday 64 on Monday. That's not, way down at comfy, but at least it's a little break from this very soupy, heavy tropical air mass that we're dealing with today and tomorrow. We do have a good chance for rain again tomorrow and a potential for some flooding, possibly in parts of the viewing area. We'll take a look at that flooding risk coming up in just a bit.
Elizabeth, thanks. Coming up on WRAL News at 4 p.m., $70 million in UNC Chapel Hill budget cuts. That's what the university's chancellor is proposing. What the university's Board of Trustees is saying about the plan at their meeting today.
And tonight at 6, the Wendell Police Department is implementing a new drone program. How the technology will be used. Still ahead this noon, tailored AI, the new version of ChatGPT specifically for the college crowd. But is it just another way for students to cheat?
And later, making your bank money make money. How to take advantage of the Fed's decision to hold interest rates steady. Where you should put your cash and where you should not. There's a new version of ChatGPT specifically designed for college students. But will it mean an end to students using AI to do their work for them? NBC's Savannah Sellers explains how study mode works.
It's called Study Mode, the newest tool from OpenAI, the company behind ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence chatbot that since bursting onto the scene in November 2022,
AI has made cheating incredibly easy. It's a cheater's dream.
Has frustrated college professors like Duke University's Oren Starn.
How much has AI impacted your classroom?
It's had a huge impact. What I've been starting to see is more and more students handing in assignments that were all or partly written by AI.
But OpenAI CEO Sam Altman says higher ed needs to change.
And I already think college is maybe not working great for most people.
And today, his company says Study Mode is designed to help students learn something, not just finish something.
Here's how it works. If you've used ChatGPT before, you provide it with a prompt. I need a 500-word essay on Orwell's 1984. It immediately gives you the essay. Now, in this new mode, if you click on Study and Learn, ask it the same thing, it's not just going to spit the exact essay out for you. It's going to go about it more like a tutor, saying, before we jump in, can you tell me a little bit about the assignment, asking me questions to help me write it.
Wall Street Journal tech columnist Joanna Stern says the choice is now in users' hands.
There's nothing stopping a student from getting the answer. That cat is out of the bag. There are so many AI tools that will provide the answer for you.
Or a learning version. OpenAI competitor Anthropic launched a similar tool to Study Mode back in April for institutions. AI already a huge part of education. A recent Gallup poll shows 6 in 10 teachers use it as a tool for their work. And startups like the Alpha School use AI software to power core curriculum as early as kindergarten.
Artificial intelligence is sort of the future, whether we like it or not. I think it's something that is already a part of our lives on a daily basis.
The issue now, how students will choose to use it.
Savannah Sellers reporting there. Goodwill and Google are teaming up to train people in artificial intelligence. The 10-hour AI Essential course is free. Companies are looking to train about 200,000 people in AI skills in the U.S. Goodwill has been offering Google's digital skills courses since 2017, with more than 400,000 people receiving well-paying jobs after participating in those programs.
Food, pressure, and politics. Just ahead, what's behind Washington's mounting calls to ease Gaza's humanitarian crisis?
And eliminating paperwork. If you're tired of filling out pages on a clipboard every time you visit the doctor, there is hope on the horizon. How a new system could help patients access their health records and why critics are sounding the alarm about it. And here are your winning NC Education lottery numbers on your screen. We'll be right back.
Shot in 4K ultra high definition. Your number one source for local news. WRAL News. Coverage you can count on.
President Trump's special envoy, Steve Witkoff, is in Israel today to address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
And that comes as some of the president's Republican allies and many Democrats call on him to expand food assistance to the enclave and put more pressure on the Israeli government to reach a ceasefire deal. NBC's Matt Bradley reports from Tel Aviv.
Well, the news here today is that Steve Witkoff, President Donald Trump's special envoy to the Middle East, who also does a lot of work with Russia and Ukraine, he just arrived here and he's going to be doing meetings with Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and other officials. This is actually a very interesting move because normally Mr. Witkoff doesn't come here unless there's some big deal in the offing, some ceasefire announcement that's about to be made or major advances in peace talks. Now we know that that is not the case, but it looks as though the Israelis have have said that they will be pushing harder into the Gaza Strip now that those peace talks in Doha last week more or less have fallen apart. The situation in the Gaza Strip continues to be desperate. We just heard yesterday from officials there that at least 30 people were killed waiting in line for aid. And this is something that we're seeing on a regular basis. People dying in huge numbers, trying to get food in order to stay alive. Now, we've also heard from Hebrew language media, from the Israeli media, that Mr. Witkoff might actually go into the Gaza Strip and visit one of the sites operated by the Gaza Humanitarian Foundation. This is a controversial U.S. and Israeli-backed group that has taken up the mantle of distributing so far a lot of the aid that has been getting into the Gaza Strip. And this is now the fourth day since the Israelis have really just slightly opened the spigot of aid coming into the Gaza Strip. They're allowing other countries to airdrop aid. They've been bringing hundreds of truckloads of aid into the Gaza Strip. But officials there say, and UN and aid agencies say, this isn't nearly enough, particularly to reverse the ravages of malnutrition on some of the youngest people, who so far make up more than half of about 150 dead from malnutrition ever since this war started. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Another war zone. A 6-year-old boy and his mother were among 6 people killed by Russian airstrikes on Kyiv. Before dawn, a Russian missile made a...
Before you make breakfast or pack your kids' lunch, pay close attention to recent food recalls. 5 Underside's Keely Arthur shows you the products that could be harmful if eaten.
Ritz is recalling its sandwich crackers over labeling issues that could be life-threatening. The recall affects these 8-pack cartons. The company says the crackers are labeled as having cheese filling, but in fact, they contain peanut butter and could be dangerous to those with an allergy. Next, a popular yogurt is being recalled after plastic pieces were found in it. Danone North America, which owns brands like Dannon, is recalling its Yo Crunch yogurt products because plastic pieces could be in the top portion of the product, creating a choking hazard. The recall covers every flavor and size with expiration dates from early July to early September 2025. Be sure to check your fridge. And Kraft Heinz Food Company is recalling more than 367,000 pounds of turkey bacon due to potential contamination with listeria. The recall affects certain Oscar Mayer turkey bacon original products. We have more details about which specific lot codes are recalled on our website, WRAL.com. Coming up tonight on WRAL News, I'm going to warn you about the millions of consumer products that have been recalled just this July, tell you what those products are, what damage they can do, and how you can get a refund. Keely Arthur, 5 on your side.
TikTok is turning to its users to help combat the spread of misinformation on its platform. TikTok is adding a new footnotes feature. The community fact-checking tool allows vetted users to suggest context for videos on the platform. TikTok introduced a pilot version of the feature back in April and says nearly 80,000 people have qualified to become contributors to write and rate footnotes. Live look, Carolina Beach. Just look at that. A little overcast there as well. We have that look in our skies all around the triangle. Now it's made its way to the beach. Not scaring many people off it, though. Still enjoying. It's still pretty hot out there. I bet that water feels good. Trump administration is introducing a new digital tracking system to help eliminate the hassle of filling out paperwork at doctors' offices. Kevin Cork reports critics are concerned about the privacy implications, especially with something as sensitive as patients' health data.
President Trump announcing the rollout of a new private health tracking system that will allow Americans to import their medical records into an app of their choice.
It's just going to make people live longer and be a lot healthier.
The project is a collaboration between the federal government and 6 companies, including Google and Amazon, and major health systems like the Cleveland Clinic. The goal is to update the old, antiquated methods of storing healthcare data on pad and paper and make it easier to share information between doctors, insurance, and patients.
Instead of filling out the same tedious paperwork at every medical appointment, patients will simply be able to grant their doctors access to their records at the push of a button.
The new system will initially focus on monitoring chronic conditions like diabetes and weight management and include digital tools to help register patients for check-ins or track medications. Proponents say it could even be used to provide better health outcomes, using artificial intelligence to create treatment plans and potentially spot problems before they arise.
It gives people the choice over their own health decisions and over their own lives, and it gives them a sense of responsibility.
But it's also raising major ethical and privacy concerns. Critics say putting medical data into the hands of private companies could lead to misuse or exploitation.
The question is, do you trust the company, and what are they going to do with it after they're done helping you?
That's Kevin Cork reporting. The program is scheduled to launch early next year.
Starting today, local volunteers will package tens of thousands of meals to help fight global hunger. The packaging event is a partnership between Elevation Church's Raleigh campus and the nonprofit Rise Against Hunger. More than 500 Elevation volunteers will take part in this three-day event as part of their annual Love Week outreach event. Starting tomorrow, we are teaming up to make tails wag and hearts happy. Clear the Shelters is back from August 1st through the 31st. It's giving thousands of pets a second chance at love. From playful pups to cuddly cats, your new companion is waiting. For a list of participating shelters, special adoption events, and how you can help give a pet a second chance, go to WRAL.com/shelters.
We've seen some clouds and rain, even some lightning this morning moving into our viewing area, kind of filling in around the area. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. This is all ahead of that cold front.
Yeah, that cold front is starting to fire up some showers and thunderstorms west of I-77, west of the Triad area, and that's headed our way. We'll begin to see that fairly, early evening and then up until around 10 or 11 o'clock. This is a look at what's happening right now, though. We have just some light patchy rain right here around the triangle from Raleigh up toward Wake Forest and Rollsville, back towards Durham. It is moving out of Orange County right now, but likely to slide on over toward Lewisburg and possibly as far south as Creedmoor in the next 30 to 45 minutes. Our next weather maker is this cold front that'll come through. It will finally help us break that heat wave that we've had for almost a week now. It does up our storm chances, especially this afternoon and into tomorrow. And because we'll likely see some heavy downpours, some localized flooding is possible with this. It's right now just moving past Nashville, headed toward East Tennessee, and you can see the thunderstorms popping up ahead of it there in the mountains, and of course a little bit of light rain in our viewing area. Checking out Futurecast, you can see by 3 o'clock a few isolated cells popping up. By 5 o'clock we start to see some of that from the triangle area north and west, but it becomes a bit more intense later on around and after dinner time, and you can see some of these pockets of heavier rain. Make sure you have a way to stay weather aware. Keep checking in with us here on WRAL. We'll let you know if there's any flooding that's happening. That's going to be our #1 risk with this later on today. Now, tomorrow, we do have a small chance for some severe storms in our southern counties. We'll push it ahead to 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Likely to be pretty cloudy tomorrow, but watch how most of the rain starts to develop and stay down here to the south. Not all of it does, but the bulk of it does, and that's where we'll have the potential for some flooding again. 60% today, 50% chance for tomorrow, and then it looks like we dry out nicely for the weekend. And remember, we talked about in the first part of the newscast, our humidity should drop off as well, which is going to feel fantastic. We have a level 1 or a low risk for flooding for today, and that covers the entire viewing area. From the triangle area northward, it's a low risk for tomorrow, but it's a medium risk in our southern counties because that's where the front will be parked. It's likely to stall there, and that's where we'll have a better chance of rain and potentially thunderstorms. A level 1 risk for parts of Moore County, Hoke County, Cumberland, and Sampson counties. Now, we could see severe storms anywhere, but it just looks a little bit more likely down to the south. So localized flooding possible today and tomorrow, but today's the last day of the heat advisory. After that, we get a break at least through the middle of next week, which will be nice. Heat index climbing to 102 to 108. Of course, we had a shower, continuing to see some showers around Durham and Raleigh. So temperatures are cooler here. It's 82 with a heat index of 90, but it doesn't look like that everywhere. It feels like 102 in Southern Pines, already 106 in Clinton, and 97 Rocky Mount, Goldsboro, 104 in South Hill. So we have pockets where that heat index is definitely high. So be careful out there. Looking at Raleigh, gray skies, some sunshine there in Fayetteville peeking through, fairly gray in Chapel Hill right now, and Apex where we had some showers roll through. And currently we have some light rain falling in Durham. You can see those gray skies. Checking out the 7-day forecast, again, pretty hot today at 95. But after that, our highs are in the 80s, and we'll have a bit of a drop in our humidity Saturday and Sunday. So good looking days there. We may be back to some showers and storms next Tuesday and Wednesday.
That weekend, we won't even know where we are. Batter up at the racetrack. 2 Major League Baseball teams will be playing ball at Bristol Motor Speedway in Tennessee this weekend. Just ahead, what the league hopes this highly unusual location for this game will accomplish.
Yeah, we like all those 80s in the forecast, but maybe you like these numbers, especially if you match them for 15, 35, 50, 64. Powerball is 8 and the multiplier is 4. Good luck.
We'll wrap things up with a look at a few of the headlines we're following for you today. This afternoon, we expect Republican Michael Whatley to announce plans to run for North Carolina's soon-to-be open U.S. Senate seat. Whatley is the chairman of the Republican National Committee. He took the national role after leading the state GOP. And Republicans Don Brown and Andy Nielsen are running also for that seat that's being vacated by Tom Tillis.
Police arrested a Raleigh man they say peered into a woman's bedroom. 56-year-old Paul Brooks faces first-degree trespassing and misdemeanor secret peeping charges. A warrant says he trespassed onto a woman's property and then looked into the master bedroom of her Raleigh home while she was inside. Brooks has a court appearance late next month.
Today, students at Expedition School in Hillsborough did not return to the classroom as planned. The school was destroyed by floodwaters during Chantal. The school is hosting a volunteer workday this Saturday to help teachers move into a temporary learning space. Classes are scheduled to start on August 25th.
Former Duke basketball star Cooper Flagg is being recognized in a unique way in his hometown. Check this out. His name is now etched into the Maine landscape. Literally, they made him a corn maze in honor of him. He's from Newport, Maine, by the way. Flagg's friends and family collaborated with the farm to make this happen.
All these people, all these little kids come out here who idolize Cooper. You know, they're 9 or 10 years old. They love Cooper, and now they're going to come out here, walk through him, and get to play in our area and just have fun. And it's great to see.
Now, if you want to see the maze and you want to travel to Maine to go see it, it will be open to the public in September.
Major League Baseball is taking America's pastime to an iconic NASCAR track. On Saturday, MLB will play its first ever game in Tennessee as part of the Major League Baseball Speedway Classic. This is the time-lapse video of the crews adding a baseball diamond to Bristol Motor Speedway. So cool. The Atlanta Braves will take on the Cincinnati Reds there, Major League Baseball's latest effort to attract a younger, more diverse fan base. The venue can hold about 90,000 fans. So far, more than 85,000 tickets have been sold, breaking the record of 84,587, which was set back in 1954.
Our pet of the day is a 2-year-old boy from the SPCA of Wake County who's looking for his forever home. Dyson here currently weighs around 52 pounds, but definitely needs to gain some weight to look and feel his best. He is heartworm positive, so he's eligible for the Foster to Adopt program to receive heartworm treatment at no cost. Dyson has done well when meeting other dogs and kids. His adoption fee is $120. However, tomorrow is Clear the Shelters, and all adoption fees are waived for the day, including Dyson's.
Coming up on WRAL News at 4 p.m., a proposal for a larger DMV site in Wake County and 2 other areas. We'll tell you who is pushing for that and where the plan stands today.
NBC News Daily is next on WRAL, your next local news update in 30 minutes.
You can always get breaking news updates anytime with our WRAL News app. Have a great day out there.
Stay safe with the latest WRAL Weather Alert Day info. Get up to the minute weather and traffic conditions when you get in your car. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM, in Durham 96.5 FM, and everywhere on 101.5 HD3.